The world is a global village.
And that's because information travels beyond boundaries.
And on This Morning on ITV,
we guarantee unbiased analysis on topical issues
that will educate you,
entertain you.
So join us.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us.
Every Sunday to Thursday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. on your ultimate news and current affairs program on television. This Morning on ITV, TMR. Join us.
Well, as we speak now, if you go to the streets of Harare in Zimbabwe, it's still jubilation, even up to the extent that an army officer had to dance for joy. Talking about the voluntary resignation of former president of Zimbabwe, Robert Mugabe. And just yesterday, as the parliament starts to really begin the process of impeaching him, the Speaker of the Parliament stood up and read the letter of resignation that former President Robert Mugabe wrote to the House to signify that he has resigned voluntarily. Well, against the backdrop that all has really not been well as far as Zimbabwe is concerned, talk about the economy, and of course we talk about some other things that the average Zimbabwean is not happy about. And we just hope and pray that the resignation of Robert Mugabe will really fully bring an end to all the prevailing issues that has bedeviled the administration of Robert Mugabe. Well, to discuss this on This Morning on ITV, we're privileged to have Mr. Monday Aikoriugie, who is a public affairs analyst and also a social commentator. Sir, welcome to this program this morning on ITV.
Mr. Evans.
And of course, my brother and my friend, Mr. Osahan Obaraye, is also a commentator on social issues too. Sir, welcome to this program this morning.
Thank you so much, my brother. Good morning, viewers.
Yeah, and also we also look at the House of Representatives and also the Senate, talking about the committee on MENA. We understand that the committee is going to start sitting today to really look at issues as far as MENA is concerned. How he was taken back to the federal civil service. And also, it has been said that MENA has written from his hiding to say that for the investigation to be properly done, that all those that have been fingered as far as his reinstatement is concerned should also be part of the investigation. It should not be something that should be done behind closed doors. Like some couple of days ago, we understand that the Senate Committee on MENA's issue met with the Attorney General of the Federation behind closed doors. So MENA is saying that everybody should be brought to bear, and that the session should be televised so that everybody will see what has transpired. Gentlemen, you're welcome one more time. Yeah, so as we begin this discussion today, let's go to the streets of Harare in Zimbabwe. We understand that is, jubilation there, people jubilating, thanking God for the past 37 years. It was since independence in 1960 that former President Robert Mugabe took over as the president. Now, his resignation, do we think it can really bring to end all that the Zimbabweans have always cried against for the past 37 years? I'll start with Mr. Monday Aikoriugie.
Thank you very much. This is the folio of another Berlin Wall. I will use this opportunity and this medium to join the Zimbabweans to say congratulations. Not only congratulations, they serve as a warning to any African leaders or worldwide who believe that power belongs to him and his family forever. Though in life, when you talk of positive, you equally talk of negative. But it all depends on how you handle it from the onset and at the tail end of it. What I mean to say is that his coming to power as a leader in Zimbabwe, something metamorphosed into it. And if you feel you have come to redeem, you have to struggle to liberate your people under any disguise. It's equally your duty to also make sure that aim and objective of coming to be, you must follow it when the ovation is louder. If you go out of this scope, anything you see, you bear it. Like what I said before, this is victory to the people of Zimbabwe, and we thank God Almighty for not allowing bloodshed in Zimbabwe. Otherwise, what we are saying today is not what we would have been talking about. And I foresee that it was not just ordinary resignation. There must have been other pressures on the ground we cannot see visibly. Who will tell him, say, come, better for you to resign or stay there in any form than for you to spill the blood of any of your countrymen. I think it's victory, not only the Zimbabwean, to Africans, and a warning to our leaders who feel they can hold on to power to infinity. And not only that, who will be having the belief and the notion that one day, as I'm living, like when you sow, I mean, when you plant a soccer, you begin to bring out offsprings.
Okay. Now, Mr. Osahon Obaraye, now let's look at the past 37 years or thereabouts of President Robert Mugabe in Zimbabwe. Where do you think that this man lost touch with his people?
Thank you so much, my brother. I think the news about the resignation of Mugabe is spreading like wildfire. I think this will go down memory and history for the first time seeing something that was bloodless, something that was just little effort to push a man that has lost his value. President Robert Mugabe, a man God blessed with leadership qualities and zeal, but lost it just the way Samson in the Bible lost his power because of Delilah. Zimbabwe had all what it takes to have become one of the world's greatest leaders because God also has granted him long life, longevity.
You mean Robert Mugabe?
Yeah,
now?
Mugabe, yeah. He had it because for a man to be 93 and still be in the hands of leadership and power, that can only be God's grace. So you cannot joke when God gives you grace. If you joke with it, it turns to disgrace. So this was a man that fought the British colonial in Zimbabwe. 3 of you, and later power was given to you people. Just the same way our iconic Nelson Mandela did to the people of South Africa. Nelson Mandela even went as far as going to jail. He came back, so he had all what it takes to rule South Africa for the rest of his life. But the man, after just 4 years, power was still there. He went away and became the most celebrated African ever to have ruled or lived. Now Mugabe was also on the same page. Simple. 3 of you, now one the vice president, one the head of the military. You had power with you for 37 years. So there is no, my brother, we should be factual to ourselves. For Mugabe not to have had an authentic and vibrant successor for 37 years, he lost everything. If he was not able to even give birth to a child to say, let me mentor this child to rule after me. If he was not able to pick somebody to say, let me mentor this man to pick after me. So to me, Robert Mugabe will go back on the page of history as one of those people that came, he saw, but was not able to conquer. That's true because he had all what he would have taken to say, okay, the British, they're giving you power. Now, okay, the vice president, your bosom friend, 2 of you moving on the same page. Though you have also lost it because the Zimbabwe dollar became tissue paper. The Zimbabwe dollar, Zimbabwe economy, they became one of the most poorest country in the world, which was not there as at 80s and early 90s. I still remember, as at then, people will tell you Zimbabwe was even far as at then better than South Africa of now. But later, what I would call the land use charge law in Zimbabwe spoiled the whole thing. Bragging and telling the white men that you can no longer own your farmland. If you want to own, you must own one. You cannot expect somebody like if Okubens decide to plant rice in Zimbabwe or Nigeria, and you say you must have just one plot of land. So there was now later reforms that he used in not spoiling its own leadership style. Then to cement it all, he now got married to a woman that God did not bless him with. That so when that woman came to Mugabe's life, if he was sensible, he would knew that the woman was now making him derail from the true picture that God has sent him to. Because the woman now decided to say, okay, your friend that both of you fought the war together from the British is now a bad person. He should be driven away.
All right, now, Mr. Monde Akorige, let's look at, because the hues and cries of the Zimbabweans have been on for decades. And some say that there seems to be a doubt on sincerity of purpose here. I mean, why did the Zimbabweans have to wait for this 37 years to protest on the streets, and also for the army? You know, that why did they have to wait for this 37 years? If they really had the sincerity of purpose, that they moved, that they did, you know, they made now that they would have done it some years ago. You think along that line too?
To be sincere, knowledge about your environment alone is not supposed to be a good idea. What I mean to say, if you look at Nigeria, there are certain issues or matters or cases that will happen when I remit it to the Nigeria scenario. I will say, well, there is no way it will ever happen in Nigeria. For example, I was opportune to be in Burkina Faso on logistic assignment. There, we have other countries that were co-contingents. The Nigerians were co-located with us in our environment based on the deployment. And I discovered, I'm going to a point, I discovered that when we were going, Nigeria being who we are, we went along with this mobile kitchen that has not been open for the first time.
Yeah, talking as a retired army officer now.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was open right there in Burkina Faso. Even the white men came and they were applauding us. And the Nigerians, you know what they came with? Just our native pot. Black, using firewood to cook. What I'm talking about. A guy I saw, a Sri Lankan officer who ate semovita, a Togolese officer who ate ordinary semovita in our camp, and was asking, he asked me particularly, what kind of food is this? I said, it's semovita. He said, oh, wonderful, very delicious. I think when I get back, I will say the idea to my president that when election is coming, we can package this thing and begin to give to the people. So what I'm saying here is that, you see, most of these countries, their level of understanding have been nipped to the bud, that they don't think beyond their boundaries. You understand? And anytime somebody gives them torchlight, and I'm not talking of halogen light, it looks surprising to them. Mugabe have succeeded in dealing with these people for these numbers of years. One, because they believe initially was like a semi-god to them. Like what my brother said, he derailed. I know of some white men who came all the way from Zimbabwe to Ilori, Kwara State here to farm. He drove them all away. I have nothing much against that. I have nothing much against that principle. of a land use decree, if actually you have your master plans that will work for you, that the white men have overstayed their boundary, they are not trying to ensure that homegrown up or indigenous farmers are not given the place of, place. Then you can decide to moderate it and say, no, we are going to make sure these things work so that our economy can grow. Whatever house you built in another man's land is to beautify the place. One day the person might decide to go. So the people actually were in dark before now. And I still foresee it. And that is something that happened in Africa. Whosoever will come with the pretense that, yes, I'm the Redeemer, a Messiah. With time, after tasting power, because power is one of the sweetest things you can ever think of. It happens in Nigeria. There's information or rumor going in Imo State that the present governor there is already nursing the ambition of bringing his son-in-law to succeed him. I think there's no difference between Mugabe and such a person.
Yeah, but we cannot
Before I said that yes.
Now, yeah.
So that is the issue.
Okay. Now, Mr. Abaraye, let's look at the issue one more time, because Mugabe would not have lived for 37 years if the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Zimbabwe did not support that. Now, as we speak now, we understand that the former Vice President, Mr. Emerson, may likely take over. By Constitution, he's supposed to take over. Now, do you think that Zimbabwe as a nation, are they after this tenure now, are they going to quickly amend the Constitution so that this idea of a leader coming in, staying donkey years won't be repetitive?
I think, my brother, if you Google Zimbabwe leadership and governance, there is no place in the constitution that states that the president will live for 37 years.
Yeah, but
it was amended, re-amended, amended, and re-amended again to suit Mugabe. Just the way President Olusegun Obasanjo wanted to do after 1999, 2003 to see continuity in another sphere.
Let us stay on our topic.
No, that is where we are. We cannot stay on our topic without giving instances of what our people can actually see. Are you getting it now? So if that one has scaled through in the year 2003, I'm also very, very sure by the time we get to 2007, if the amendment will come again to suit for one purpose or the other, to say, okay, if the president can this, he can now run. They will put it again and suit it and curry it. It should be curried in the favor that our people will see it and smile to say, okay. So, but this cannot happen in Nigeria, just the way my leader said. The reason is not far-fetched. The reason is because if you want to talk about exposure, if you want to talk about Nigeria might not be the most brilliant and most educated black country in the world, but Nigeria should be the most exposed. I'm not talking about black now, the most exposed when it comes to exposure to say this is what you want to know. That is why you see when you give a Nigerian man something good to do, he do it at his best. If you give a Nigerian man something bad to do, he also do that bad thing at his best. So it cannot happen here. But to my greatest surprise, I'm very sure that this time, what the Zimbabweans even need to do, if I was to be there, if I was to speak, even the vice president should also take you and go. This is not time for, how can you be somewhere for 37 years? To me, you've lost the vision. So the same way Robert Mugabe resigned, if the vice president want to collect leadership, not just in Zimbabwe, but in Africa and one in the world, he should immediately come in, resign.
Yeah, but the vice president seems to enjoy some form of popularity. I mean,
it's in the village of the blind, a one-eyed man is regarded as a king. The reason why he's enjoying it now is because Mugabe has been seen as somebody that we don't want to see him at all. So now seeing one man that is being legged or being one-eyed now at this point, the people of Zimbabwe will be happy. They will dance a Mugabe dance just because this man is better. So to me, what the Zimbabweans need to do, I want to salute the cover. I think in trying to read about Zimbabwe, I also noticed that they are one of the most educated countries in Africa. So I laughed at it to say, education truly is not exposure. I prefer to be exposed than to be educated. It's two different things. Are you getting it now? Because if truly they were exposed, even allowing Robert Mugabe to be there again, from 37, he might have amended the constitution over 10 times. So for you to allow a man do this for over 10 times, you show to people that you are not just educated, but your education is very low.
No, it was out of corruption.
I get it now. So
corruption.
yeah, no, even allowing corruption shows you are not educated.
Because they were all given what they are
Yes.
they require.
So a man that is educated that also allows corruption is not educated. Okay. Because if you are educated, you should know that corruption is a sin. You should know it's not what should be welcomed. So the people of Zimbabwe, to me, they successfully, I'm happy the way it was done, because it was not done the Libya way. It was not done the other African style way, where you want to drive a man that has stayed there in power. You see the man resisting, and the next thing you see poor people dying. So they did it as if they were celebrating Xmas. It was just like happiness. Okay. You must go, Oga, you must go, Oga, you must go. And the man thought they were joking. Oga, you must go, not just you must go. So the man saw that for the first time, these people, they are sensible. Just like these people now know what I know.
Okay. Now, Mr. Monday, Ikorogie, the Zimbabwean army, if we can have the visuals there, we saw it earlier on our news. If we can still have the visuals there. The Zimbabwean army came to forestall peace and order. When they saw it that at that time, if they didn't come into the situation, there would have probably been an anarchy. Now they came in to forestall peace and order. Now, but we saw at Robert Mugabe's resignation, we saw some of the army dancing. I mean, that again raises, the doubts on the neutrality that people ought to see the Zimbabwean army to kind of play in the whole scenario. I mean, as a retired army officer, you want to comment on that?
Sincerely speaking, there is no one that forbids to use honey as to use honey to make your tea. Corruption, I will first of all point at. When your leader is corrupt, your incentives, your expectation is not given to you. You always pray, one day let this man sleep and never wake up. Like what I said just now. You see, some African countries, like what my brother said, Nigeria is too vast for one person. So you will hold on to power, whether it was one law or the other. You see, at times, you see a captain, a major, becoming a head of state of a country, which from the beginning of this world to the end of this world can never happen in Nigeria. You see, like if I were in their shoes, I would do same. That shows at times it is the discipline in Nigeria army that will make an average person, a trained personnel, not to involve in such a thing. You understand what I'm saying? There was some time ago in Togo, the soldiers were rebelling over allowances. Yes. That shows that even at a point, they cannot do otherwise than to say, no, we'll voice it out. But in Nigeria, it cannot take place. Because there are laws that guide you, that will tell you where one or two of you will say, no, what this man is doing is bad. I would definitely not agree. Then you can be charged for it as mutiny. But in their case, except it is direct that there was a coup to overthrow the government of the day, then you can be used as a scapegoat to say, others who have the plan. Aside that, when it comes to generality, like what my brother said just now, there were 3 wise men that brought Zimbabwe to where it was from the British era. And he decided not to say, okay, the whole power belongs to me when you are not God. So the man in charge of the military, the soldiers, the troops are loyal to him. Already before any coup, they have to be sensitization underground that will say this is what we have. The person who is about to be stabbed behind will not even know. Because the people around you who might be dining and drinking, eating with you, will not know what is about to happen to him. You understand? So when it happened that they were jubilating on the street of Zimbabwe, it was yes, our dream is coming to reality.
Okay. Now, as we make preparations to draw our conclusions on this segment, now let's come back to Nigeria. We understand that the House Committee on Mina's issue is going to be sitting today and going to look at all that transpired, how Mina was reinstated into the Federal Ministry of Interior and all that. Now, Mina in his hiding has reacted and said that rather than the investigation to be done in closed doors, it should be done in the open, that he's ready to come back, that the Honorable Minister of Interior should be part of the investigation, should be part of the hearing, by the Senate Committee, and that the Attorney General of the Federation to the HOS, Oyoita, and all that all of them should be present. Now, how do you want to react to all this? Let me start with Mr. Osaho.
Yeah, thank you so much, my brother. I think this is the type of story you can hear in Nigeria. This is the type Nigeria is known for, not the type of longevity in power. My heart bleeds for somebody that is as corrupt as Mena to give conditions on how it's going to be, how he wants his case to be. Are
you saying that you support the closed door, investigation that has been going on?
I'm not supporting the closed door. I said my heart bleeds for a culprit to give condition to say this is how I want to be tried. You don't. To me, you are not to give. You are not supposed to be a judge. You are not supposed to tell how it's supposed to be. But
when you say culprit, Mina has not been persecuted by
you are saying that as a journalist. You have all what it takes to save your job. You don't need to tell me what I know. You're telling me Mina has not been this, Mina has not been that. If there is somebody today that has stolen more of our sovereignty, our funds in Nigeria, I think Mina stands out to be number one.
But he's still an allegation.
Yeah, that is all. Apart from James Onanefe Ibori, that the British government on their own decided to act and treat. Tell me any other Nigerian corrupt leader that we've seen since the issue of corruption that has been dealt with, that has been sentenced, that has really been saying, okay, this is punishment for corruption. None. So now they are trying to make him over popular because there is also news waving around that he's planning to contest for governorship. So they are also helping him from campaign. If Mena does not, so nothing will happen. That is the type of Nigeria government we have. That is the type of the change, corruption change slogan that they keep singing. Nothing would have happened if Mena had done so. Mena ran away just because he's new to stealing, he's new to corruption. Yeah, he would have asked others, those that collected money to cut grasses. So they would have told him and showed him the way of how you collect money, how you still be in the system, and it should just be on papers, it should just be breaking news headlines, and nothing would have happened. So to me, are you telling me that Mena, wherever he stays alone? Are you telling me that, my brother, you should be factored to ourselves in Nigeria that we are? Mena, wherever he is now, is living like a small god. There are security details all attached to him. Living there, we must be factored to ourselves. This is the Nigeria that we are. Mena, wherever they are just playing the macabre dance for us to look as if maybe I think you people are saying we are not fighting corruption. We want to drag Mena. What? Does the House of Representatives, even the House of Senate, after trying Mena, what will not be the aftercome? What is the work of the EFCC? What is the work of the ICPC? Okay. These people are people that the law is spelled out to say, deal with people like this. So it's another macabre dance to carry in there and breaking news and this and the next thing you see. That is why you see the man so relaxed telling you, I want this person to be there, I don't want this one to be there, I want the door to be open, I want the door to be closed. That is why it's so relaxed. Okay.
Now, as we wrap up down quickly, Mr. Monday, I corrugate, you also want to bear your mind on this Mena's case.
You see, Mr. Evans.
Yeah.
With the little experience I've gotten about Nigeria affairs, it's very disheartening. It calls for sober reflection. You understand? Some time ago on this same program, I mentioned the issue of tribalism religion issues, and others and others. And if I have my way, ex-military officers should be barred from playing politics. And not only that, we should not allow ethnicity to divide us. Otherwise, I'm very happy with my brother Abaye. I always enjoy his contribution most times on your programs because he's fatwa. He hit the nails at the head most times.
No, I would say that for MENA to request.
Excuse me, Mr. Evans. What I'm saying, he has no reason whatsoever, and that is not the issue we should be talking about now. Okay. That should not even be. It should not even inquiry or committee. That is not supposed to be the issue. Okay, for example, you are even talking from your hideout. Okay. For how many years were you away in the military? When you are absent for 1 or 2 weeks, it becomes a war. But
what about if I tell you that he has to probably hide to save his life?
No, I don't want to hear that. All those are to manage the situation. To deceive an average Nigerian doesn't know anything. For example, EFCC, who declared this man wanted? Are you not telling me they were not aware he is back to this country? Look at the Minister of Interior. They are the brain behind these things because they know they have a future plan for this guy, just for his political ambition. The only person I pity for, and God will bless her for it, that is the head of civil service.
So are you saying that if the House Committee on Mina's case is going to do a thorough job, that all these other persons that have been mentioned should not be called at all? Is that what you're saying?
No, what I'm trying to say here, the Minister for Interior, the Attorney General, by now, they are supposed to be somewhere.
Okay.
Relief of the appointment, because they are the co-conspirators. You did not even allow this man to come. He was promoted, paid arrears. I mean, they are telling Nigerians that we don't know what we are doing.
Okay. Well, Mr. Monday Akorige, thank you so much for joining. Please extend that handshake to Mr.
Thank you so much.
God bless you.
We'll take a short pause now so that we'll do some other things on the program.